morning, y'all. It is now day of, and I am now wearing my Lucky Magikarp shirt. And let's get going. I got my box going. I got all my stuff. Got my badge. It's go time, y'all. All right, and here we are, folks. We are at the NAIC today. Woo! It is crazy in here. All the players, everybody here. So yeah, I am nervous, excited, pumped. I already have my first opponent on table 250. Kayon, I think is his name. Yeah. So I'm heading there right now and get myself set up. And this is exciting. This is awesome. I also had to meet up with a friend. I had to give him a shaman that he needed for his deck. So hopefully, Walker win it, dude. I'm rooting for you too. All right, let's go ahead and walk around here and see if we can find my tables. Myself all set up here. I already shuffled up my deck. I did like a pile shuffle like I usually do. Everything's set up. Waiting for my opponent at table 250. It's still early. I think we were like what, like 5 minutes before? 4 minutes before time. So that's actually 9 o'clock is the open ceremonies, and then after the open ceremonies, that's when our fights begin here. So I'm not sure my opponent's gonna be late or not. I don't know. But I hope they show up, and yeah. I messed up. I was in the wrong spot. I'm at the right 250 here, and I have my first opponent right here. Hey, how's it going, sir? All right, so let's see how our first match goes. All right, so we just had our first matchup. I won the first round and tie up. Right?
Yeah.
So how did it go? Like, how did you feel about the match so far?
Well, it was a good match. Yeah, I just overcommitted my resources and you capitalized on it.
Yeah, I just looked out on the first matchup too. I whiffed on my, like, I forgot which round, but I whiffed twice, so that was really, really bad, but I lucked out. I lucked out.
You did, you're good.
No, man, you're too nice, thank you.
Wow.
All right, and here I am on the second round. I'm on table 708 right now. I'm fighting against Gary here. So let's see how it goes. We'll find out in a little bit. All right, so I just finished up the second matchup here. I unfortunately lost against Gary's amazing Charizard Dragon Bolt deck. Gary, real quick, do you have anything to say about the match so far?
Pretty fun game. I felt like I really had to stop the jolting at all costs.
You were getting your setup constantly, bro.
Yeah.
You were constantly I could not get my setup at all for both matches. Take care, Gary. He's got to run off to the Pokemon Center, so yeah, can't blame him because it's very, very tight and trying to get in there and then get yourself. You have to follow with the registration or the reservation and whatnot. So, but yeah, it was an interesting matchup. Both matches. I was not getting the drawing power I needed. The second match was probably my worst one. At least the first one, I had a little bit of a chance. I think I whiffed it once or twice towards the beginning, but it's not like whiffs that would have changed the tide of the fights. But the second one, I was not pulling any of my energy. And both matches, Gary was having his setup constantly. He was getting both of his Charmanders and the Dreepies out there. And yeah, no, I could not go against him in speed-wise. I was surprised. Also, he was running with the Luminous Energy, which I've seen before too, and I thought that was very fascinating and interesting with that usage in there. He also had the Monkey Dory, which, I don't know, as soon as I saw the monkey, I'm like, monkey.
I'll check right now.
Oh well. So I'm just going to go ahead and shuffle up and go on from that. All right, so I'm already done with cleanup here. I'm still kind of waiting it out. It takes a little bit of time for the Arcanine system to update. I think it's just because, like, I still see, like, you know, there's still matches taking place, so they're just trying to, like, finalize and finish up their matches, you know, overtime and all. But it takes a while for it to, like, show up and update, like, who your pairings are. So right now I'm just kind of just chillaxing, waiting. I've already shuffled my deck. Pilot shuffled it. It's just, for me, I've always felt like the game spoiled me a lot in how it shuffles my deck. There's some things that I like about the game, some things I don't like about the online. I'm talking about the online game specifically. And the online game spoils me when it comes to shuffling. So I feel like it does a great job of shuffling and getting me all kinds of different kind of cards. In real life though, if you don't shuffle correctly, your stuff can be like piled together when especially if you just played a game. So then I've had in the past where like two of the same Pokemon are like right next to each other or something like that, and I'm like, where are they? Where are they? It's because I didn't shuffle that well. So I'm not a quick shuffler. I don't have the dexterous hands for like crazy card shuffling or whatnot. So I just do a pile shuffle. I think that's what it's actually called, where I set up in like 3 different, like 6 total piles, and then combine it together, and I just do some traditional I forgot what the like split shuffle. I don't know what it's called exactly. Just put them together like 3 different times. All right, finally, so we're here for our 3rd match at number 1180 here. My next competitor here is gonna be Kyle Griffin. And yeah, we're gonna see how things go, and we'll see how things shake up with this matchup. All right, so that was my 3rd match here, and I lucked out and I won here. So that's 2-1 here. Kyle, out of curiosity here, so in your matchup, you played a very interesting deck, a very interesting variation for Ethan Toho.
Yeah.
What happened exactly? I know the first match, your stuff was in the prizes, but what happened in between?
First match, I needed Gouging Fire to hit some big numbers, and he was prized. And then this second game, I just couldn't get the ho down. At the same time, I had 2 energies in my hand, so that's what made it kind of a little rough.
Oh wow! And then, is this something that you built yourself, or is this something you saw?
No, I've seen it being played in Japan. I just back in the original Black-White era, I played a deck that ran Kling Klang and a bunch of different attackers. Essentially the same concept, except, you know, Kling Klang was a stage 2. The game was also slower back then, so it worked better. And so, like I said, I saw some people in Japan playing it, and I really liked it because I was like, oh, that reminds me of that Kling Klang deck, and that was one of my favorite decks I've ever played. It's just right now it's a little awkward because the attackers we have to run all have to have at least 2 colorless and 1 specific, because you know I can't put these 2 on there to pay. Only this one would pay for something then. So, but come the new Black-White set, we're actually getting a reprint of Prism Energy, which Prism Energy is a rainbow energy for basics, and I can have as many as I want on a Pokemon. And the only thing I did though to this deck was I made a little change with some techs, and I'm really greedy when I deck build, which cost me this game for sure. Some decks play, you know, 2-3 Ho-Ohs. I saw someone tech this, not too common. I thought that was cool. I felt this was needed. Just never got to use it.
Interesting pull. When I first saw it, I'm like, what kind of deck were you playing? And then I saw the characters. I thought you were playing a very interesting like super ledge deck. So I was like, oh, this would be fun.
Yeah.
I was curious.
Yeah, and I run a 3-3. I just never got the opportunity to attack with my Iron Hands.
That would have surprised me.
And then my 2 Terra Pokemon for my stadiums. I run 3 Area 0. I run the Durant for the Grimmsnarl matchup. And it can also one-shot Charizard after they take 2 prizes, but so can the Regigigas. You know, Regigigas is good against the Eevee deck, the Dragapult, Charizard. So this one, I definitely don't regret playing it. And then this one I ran, not many of them run it, because it's just the biggest hitter that I can run that doesn't have a restriction. So like this one has a restriction, obviously this would be the biggest hitter, but this one is the only one that just hits for like a truck. And then unless you count Clefairy, but again, restriction based.
A friend of mine ran the Gouging Fire EX. I forgot what the deck did specifically because he never got to fully run, and I just kept switching him out. So that was the one thing that mine changes up a little bit. Like I'm a little more aggressive because I have more orders, I have more switch ups basically. So I'm like, I like to pull people into the fray because everyone likes like the stay on the bench, be as safe as possible as they possibly can be. And I'm like, no, there's no safety with me. I'll pull. My other question, this is something I like to ask a lot of people then, is that whenever they play Iona, so there's a lot of things that we can't account for in our games. The biggest things that we can't account for is the RNG of the deck itself. But the big one that I always like to ask about is Iona. So, the biggest one, Kyle, is that did the Iona help you when you used her?
Last round it did, that's for sure. This round, again, I would play out my hand in Iona, but I just couldn't get the combination of Ho-Oh, Prism, or not Prism, Luminous Energy, and being able to Golden Flame 2-in. And even when I could Golden Flame 2-in, I never had the Luminous Energy. So, and that's part of the problem, because I play greedy. Most lists run 3 Earthen. I only run the 2. But I will say, I teched this in last night before submitting my deck list at 11:30 p.m. And it comes in handy when you get it, especially the people that know to focus the Char Cadets. You super odd play that, and you get 2 back, and then usually you can get back in the game.
See, what I was seeing is that once you had played Ethan's Ho-Ho here, it was like, I thought you were going to start charging everything up. So I'm like, that was like kind of like my primary target. I was like, let me annihilate the Ho-Ho, and then once I saw too many, like, there's so many variable threats too, because like it's just advantageous. So I'm like, I had to kind of pick out where I wanted to go from that point, and just kind of like, not exactly snipe, but just kind of like, if I can drag it out, or if you brought something out, that would have helped me out here.
Oh, for sure.
But yeah, very fun fight, and very interesting deck as well too.
Supporters are 4-4, 4-4-2. So I'm gonna keep playing this, and I'm just excited for the next format.
How was it with your previous matchups?
Round 1, I dirtled hard. So that kind of, he ended up 2-0ing me, but the second game was actually really close. I just did a misplay, and
was it a grievous misplay, or was
it kind of cost me because I went to attack and get a knockout with a Gouging Fire, and instead of moving, I had 3 basics in play. Instead of moving the 3, I had like a Ho-Oh on my bench, and I had like this setup, the 3 there, and I just went, okay, Armor Rouge, and I moved them, and I was like, oh, because I had another fire over here that I should have moved, and because I knew he was going to be able to KO the Gouging Fire on the clapback, but I needed the Luminous to stay in play, and as soon as I moved it, I was just like, I'm not even going to ask if I can take that back. And yeah, and a lot of people actually don't know what Armor Rouge does when it comes to the Luminous Energies. They don't think that it works with together. When it does, it's pretty funny.
It's been a very interesting matchup. Kyle, appreciate you for your time here.
Yeah.
Good luck in your future matches as well too.
Thank you. You as well.
Is this gonna be something that you're the first deck also to say this as well? The first deck I came across with the new set for Destined Rivals here. Is this something that you're gonna be tweaking a little bit more going forward? I know you already mentioned with the Prism Energies with Black Gold and White Flare coming out. Is there anything else that you're gonna be tweaking up with going forward as well?
For sure. Yeah, I'm gonna stick with this for locals.
Yeah.
There's a completely different build. It doesn't run the Armor Rouge, but it still runs the 3 Ho. It runs 3 Ho-Oh, and it's a Dragapult. Not Dragapult. It's a what's that one? Raging Bolt.
Okay.
It's a Raging Bolt variant. So you just throw the Ho-Ohs down, attach the 2 fires. And
okay, so it's just the fuel engine. Okay,
yeah,
interesting.
Instead of the 1 energy per Ogre Pond. But I'm probably just gonna stick with this, play it, have it fine-tuned. That way, when the stuff I want actually comes out, I'm ready to just swap out the Pokemon.
Exactly.
Because the big thing is, there's no good basic dark attacker, and that's what kind of hurts this deck.
Maybe I haven't looked at the new cards yet exactly, so I don't know if there's anything new coming across, but who knows?
Yeah, but it's that Prism lets me, use like Roaring Mooniacs, and I'm excited.
Awesome. Look, Kyle, thank you so much.
Yeah,
Appreciate it.
Yeah.
All right, here we are, match 4 at table 569 here. I am fighting against Justin here. So let's see how this match turns out. Overtime. All right, so we got our 4th round in here, and I lost it against Justin's Guardy deck. So this is the second Guardy deck I played against today, and I won against the first one. Similar strategy I tried against you as what I did the first time around, which is I tried to move you around so that way you did not have. I was checking your energy a lot of things so I could stall you. What I'm trying to do. So while I built up my play, but you were still able to maneuver around. Is that not?
Thankfully, yes. We did save a little bit of energy in deck, especially after the first game, so we didn't fall to it again.
Exactly. So my question at this point here is that fighting against other Joltik boxes so far, what did you thought about mine at this point?
Very interesting. The Dreepy is very cool. It's nice being able to get some extra draw, right? It can be a little bit difficult to set up, but I don't hate it. It seems very interesting. The extra draw is definitely nice.
Trading card game masters, that is time in round number 4.
I'll go ahead and
TCG
call it from here, but
Masters, that is
Justin,
time in
absolutely
round
appreciate it.
number
Thank you very much, man.
Nice meeting you too, man.
Sam, good
Thank
luck
you.
in your next match as well.
Thank
Take
you.
care.
Good luck.
All right, here we go. So now we're here for match 5, and we're here on table 911 here, waiting on Isaac. Isaac, hey, how's it going, dude? All right, so Isaac just showed up here. So we're gonna be having a fun little matchup here now. We'll see what happens next. All right, round 5 went through, and Isaac and I tied. Surprisingly enough, he was playing another Guardy deck, so this is the 3rd Guardy deck I've come across so far. I won against one, lost against one, now I tied against one. So, Isaac, how did you feel about that matchup so far?
I think first game went pretty well, and then second game as well. It was neck and neck. I got the first win, and he got the second win. And then third game, I think we both had the worst hand because we were just attaching.
I only had a Mew and a Blood Moon Usaluna. I can't say its name. So it's like I couldn't really do anything at all. We were just kind of stuck. So yeah, we just ended up tying at that point here. I would say, did my deck just throw you off a little bit too?
Yeah, so for a second, I didn't think you were going to play the Dragapult because I was like, well, maybe he's going to use it for like an engine or something. And then I saw it came out, and then the Garvantula EX as well. And I was like, oh, what am I playing?
They tricked up a little bit, and then I was trying to do what I usually do against Guardy decks, is I was trying to stall you out. So that's why I was constantly asking you for the energy. I was trying to pull somebody out. I wasn't too sure. I saw you had 6 energy. I didn't know if you ran 8 or more, but I'm like, I was banking that you probably had 1 or 2 more energies left if you had 8.
Yeah.
And then either it's prized or it was there. And
Yeah.
in the first game, you came through on that one. You basically pulled through and got another energy. You retreated, and that's how you got the secure on the win on that one.
Yeah, I was able to just maintain the energies. I normally try to keep 1 or 2 because I know people try to like stall like how you did the second game.
Exactly.
Like the second game, you stalled me for a turn. I was like, oh.
But you already knew your deck's weakness, and people trying to take advantage of that. That's like my only counter against a Guardy deck. There's other things I was thinking about trying to do with my current deck too, but I just ended up just going like, let me go with my hyper aggressive Dragapult deck and then just have fun with it basically. But yeah, Isaac, absolute pleasure playing with you, dude. Good luck in your future matches as well, man.
Yeah, you too.
Thank you. Awesome, here we are on round number 6 here. I'm here with Yakira here. So let's see how this match turns out. All right, that's the 6th matchup here, and unfortunately, I lost against Yakira's Ethan's Boho. So with the play out itself too. So how did you feel when you were coming across the Dragapult, for example?
Against Dragapult?
Yeah. Did it throw you off a little bit or anything like that? Or no?
It did. I was like, oh, I never saw Dragapult in Iron Hands, but I was like, oh, that's a nice surprise.
Exactly. It's supposed to be a little bit of a trip up itself too. And then playing alongside with that too, so you were using a couple of like interesting ones like with the Monkey Dory for an example, moving things around, which is interesting because with the Ethan's Ho-Ho, it heals off the damage. So is that something you had already considered beforehand when you were utilizing that with your deck, or is it just like
Trading card game masters.
it was like a
Savannah Miller and Tal Mova.
I liked it for
Savannah
decks
Miller
like Dragapult
and
and
Tal Mova.
Enemy Snarl.
Please come
so that
and
they
match
can
the
get security
tables.
off of it so that their Monkey Dory
wasn't helping out very much to knock it out. I can't think of anything specific too, because like for the most part, I had whiffed like, especially in the second round, I whiffed quite a bit because I'm like, oh, I misplayed. I'm like, this is what happens with the whole sequencing stuff or whatnot. So it is what it is. I can't think of anything off the top of my head too, but other than that, Yakira, well played. Congrats.
Playing with you.
Thank you, thank you. All right, here we are. This will be round number 7 here at table 10-10. I have Daniel here as my next competitor here, so let's see how this match turns out. Great, well, here we go on round 7 here. I actually got that one in here. Daniel used a Dragon Ball EX with a Charizard as well too, so I lucked out and won on that one there. First round was cinched in, and then the second one we ended up tying for the most part, so that's pretty much it right there. All right, we're burning the midnight oil here. It's pretty late. Actually, I don't even know what time it is right now. Let me see. Yeah, it's about 7 o'clock, 6:53 right now. We're on match number 8 here at table.
You have fun riding 8 hours.
15 here. I'm playing against Zachary here, so let's see what happens. So we're now on round 8, and we just finished off here. Unfortunately, I did lose. That was a very tight one. It was back and forth between Zachary and I. I lost the first one. It was an absolute whiff of a RNG draw. I only had a Mew, and smoked it on what, the 3rd turn, right?
Yeah.
And then on the second one, I lucked out with Louis Clefairy. He was using a Raging Bolt. And then on the last one here, it was a good back and forth. He took out my Louis Clefairy early on. So my questions were, so how did you feel in regards to not the first match obviously, but with the second match? How did you feel about that one overall?
I feel like I went a little bit too slow there. I couldn't get around the jolt tick, which pretty much what got you the win. Just not taking a too prize match.
Did the Louis Clefairy surprise you at all by any chance, or?
Not necessarily. I see it around, you know, in your type of decks. I see like Clefairy quite a bit there.
And what about the Dragapult? Did that throw you off a little bit?
That did. I don't see Dragapult in Joltik box. So yeah, that did throw me off.
Amongst your previous matches, did you come across any other mirror matchups or anything like that?
I played one mirror match, yes.
How did you fare on that one?
I lost that one. The mirror is pretty tricky. A lot of times it comes down to who goes first and who takes the 2 prizes.
Was it, in your case, was it like, it was just because it was just an RNG situation, or did you actually, like, it was just like kind of like a good back and forth and they just got ahead or something like that?
Well, game 1 I scooped pretty early because I just had nothing going. And then pretty much it was just like I went first, took the 2 prizes, I won game 2. He went first, took the first 2 prizes, I lost. So yeah, I feel like it's more take the first 2 prizes.
Okay. And considering that amongst many of the meta decks right now for the NAIC right now, Raging Bolt's one of the top tier contenders right now, looking at right next like Gardevoir, and then I know Marnie's turn. Funny enough, I have not come across it myself.
Yes.
This is a 2-parter question. How did you feel so far running Raging Bolt so far in the NAIC right now? And did you come across any Marnie's Grimmsnarls?
Yes, I came in against 4 Marnies now.
Oh, jeez.
I tied 1, beat 3 of them.
Nice, okay.
So it's a pretty good matchup for Raging Bolt. Yeah, Raging Bolt just has a good spread in the format right now. Just beats a lot of stuff, I say.
I would say, like, my experiences with it, it's usually relatively really fast, almost a turn to attacker a lot of the times.
Yes.
It's quick recovery. Even if I knock out one thing or another, you have multiple threats to deal with. That's why, like, in the second matchup, I hate to say in the second matchup, but on the third matchup, that's why I went after your Ogerpon. I was hoping that I was going to kill your engine a little bit, but you drew the killing shot, basically.
Yeah.
So I couldn't do anything about that, but I was hoping that I'd stall you, maybe. Because usually Ogerpons are your fuel for additional energies besides Sada.
Yes.
And then, so you won 3 of the 4 matches. You beat them out. Would you say that when you were fighting against those Marnie's Grimmsnarl decks, was it also damage output was an issue with them for the most part against your deck?
Not for the most part. just have big basics, it's kind of hard for them to kill multiple things at once. A lot of the time, usually they can't put down the frost last to ping the damage, or I kind of just go after the frost last.
Okay. And then amongst your matchups so far, what was your worst matchup meta base?
Probably the Gardevoir. I played one Gardevoir. Kind of a tough matchup for both, I would say.
Was it tough because they got their setup faster than you did, or in this case too, it was just their recovery was a lot more sustainable?
It's just more just like the multiple one prizes they have in their options.
I saw you already had counter catcher in that regard. And no, sorry, prime catcher. Did you run any other type of catchers in your?
Yeah, I have one counter catcher.
Just the one counter catcher? Okay. Because I know some of them run a couple more, so depending on the fight or depending on their play style for the most part, but interesting. But yeah, other than that, Zachary, congratulations and good luck on your future matches, man.
Thank you. You as well.
Thank you, thank you. Hey everyone, here we go. Final matchup here. We're on match number 9. 756 is my table. And it is right now 8:07. I am fighting against Ryan. So let's see how this match turns out. Cool beans. So round 9, and this is the final one for tonight, or today basically. I won against Ryan. Brian played in an amazing Cynthia's Garchomp deck. This is the 3rd meta deck I came across today. Unfortunately, and I was kind of hoping I was going to run into it, I did not run into any Marnie's Grimmsnarls today, which is really, really odd.
Yeah, there was a lot.
I ran into 2 Ethan's, like variants of Ethan's Ho-Hos.
Really?
Yes, and they're very different.
But no like Grimmsnarls? I mean, I didn't see Grimmsnarl either. I kind of dodged them. They were all around me.
I've been hearing about that. I had another player right next to me.
It was 12% of the meta?
Really?
Yeah, I think it was 12% of the metagame.
That's crazy. So Ryan, my question's to you to begin with. So you came into the NIC with a new meta deck itself. How do you feel playing it so far, Cynthia's Garchomp specifically?
I think it's a lot of fun. I think that it gets a little bit better as the newer sets come out, because like there's the fighting like Powerade that comes out with the Mega set with like Mega Lucario.
Yep.
And then Black and White, it gets supporter Hilda that searches for an evolution Pokemon and an energy. So I think it has potential going forward. As of currently, it's like very hit and miss. I didn't get as much reps on it as I would have liked to going in, but I just was here to have fun, you know?
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
That's
No,
the point of it.
that's the whole point of playing the game to begin with. It's all about having fun. So then let me ask you this then. Of your matches, when you're playing with your deck so far, is it a mixture between like the deck just not being able to compete against current meta? I'm assuming most of the decks that you came across are a lot of the meta decks that begin with.
Yeah, I played three Joltik Box today, 2 Dragapult, 2 Gardevoir, my other matches. 1 Raging Bolt, and then something else. I forget what.
It almost sounds like something similar with me. I didn't have any mirror matchups, but I played a lot of the Gardevoirs 3, and I've done all 3. 1 lost and tied.
Yeah.
I had 2 Zards with a Bolt, 1 win, 1 loss there, 1 Bolt, and then 3 of the, like, 2 of the Ethan's Ho-Hos, and then your Cynthia's Garchomp. So
You had a wide spread there.
Oh yeah, so that was the other fun thing too, because so you're familiar with the Joltik box, but it's a little bit spicy compared to most other ones.
Yeah, the Dragapult in there is crazy. Is it a 2-2-1 line or is it 2-2-2?
No, it's a 2-2-1 line.
2-2-1.
Yeah,
Wow.
so it's basically my main drawing point. I tweaked it up. I've seen a deck build of this beforehand, but I tweaked it to be more aggressive. So I added in a little bit more cards like polling. I like to call it like a Scorpion deck from Mortal Kombat. Let's just get over here. Yep. As you saw, I like to pull people to the front, because the one thing that I've noticed for my weakness with Joltik box, everyone puts everybody out from the front line, so that way I can't do my ampy very much. So I like to just drag everybody out.
And that's why we love Boss's Orders.
Exactly, and then also Prime Catcher and Counter Catchers too, which we didn't come across those. However, so in that lineup too, with the plays itself, I was basically having it. Another weakness Joltik box had was the late game portion. It's usually, so the Joltik box weaknesses, its strength is in the early to mid game. It's a great donk at the beginning, and then it has a mid game. But late game, it flounders. And a lot of Pokemon start getting a lot stronger, a lot of 300 plus, just like the Cynthia's Garchomp. So the only counter I have is that, as you saw, Dragapult EX. It was just to come out there. That's my late gamer. That's the one I build up towards essentially, and then I have everybody else I can start grabbing and pulling. with your Cynthia's Garchomp so far, do you feel like it's being... I know, and from what I can understand from your decks, or from your fights, you had a mixture between you were having some just not great draws, but then also the matchups weren't that strong enough. Would you say that it's just one or the other, or was there anything more to your matches?
I think that my list could have been more streamlined. Like, I decided against Rare Candy and Ultra Ball, which is probably a mistake. Just because, like, I am... I don't know if you saw, but there was a Masters Cup that Lucas did yesterday, and it was the top 4 list from that. So I kind of just copy pasted, and then I changed one of the power weights to a rescue board, and then one of the luminous energy to another fighting.
Okay.
So I guess I just didn't have enough reps with that version of the list, because every other list.
Yes, you're all set. Thank you, much appreciated.
Every other list that I've had has had some variation of either one Rare Candy and multiple Ultra Ball. So not having that extra aggression and relying heavily on the Evo, the turns that you can't do that is really poor. And then also you just kind of get wrecked with your hands.
And that's one thing I want to talk about too, is that when I've seen from previous lists for Cynthia's Garchomp, the energy list is very, very shy on the energy. How many did you run? Because I was noticing that you were having problems just getting out the energy. You were just relying on the corkscrew drive. So I was like, okay, I'm going to start taking out your Pokemon that do have energy, because then you're just super reliant on it. I'm going to have the one energy. And it's kind of similar with other decks, something like Ceruledge or something like that. But what's your energy capacity, and then how do you deal with that?
So I'm running a 3 dark, 4 fighting, 1 luminous, 1 neo upper energy.
Okay.
So 9 energy total. It's a very weird spread, but obviously I'm playing the Monkey Boys, so they've been super helpful in a few matches today.
If you're running 9, then do you have anything that helps you draw your energy, or?
Yeah, I have 1 energy search, and then I'm running 2 Polaris.
That's right.
Experiment or whatever. The Polaris, the Stadium energy search. So I haven't really struggled too much. Although my first round today, I drew past 6 turns in a row just digging for energy, and I just could not find one for 6 turns, and it was such a winnable match.
Was it prized at that point with your energies, or is it just
I think there was 2 that were prized, but it just, you would not find them. It was just a dead hand and then just draw pass.
Okay.
So that's one thing that the deck does struggle with, is some draw support. I've seen some builds run research and stuff to try and help with that, but I've struggled with that. So.
Okay. 2 more questions. So the first one I want to ask you is that out of all the current meta decks, what is the worst meta deck you come across?
When you say worst, what do you mean? My least favorite to play, or the worst matchup for Cynthia?
Worst matchup for your Cynthia's Garchomp, and particularly for your deck, because your deck is going to be a little bit more different than everyone. What was the worst matchup for you?
I don't know. I played 1. That's what it was. I played 1 Goldango today, which statistically I feel like that's a very bad matchup, because they can hit that 400 number pretty easily, but can they do that multiple times in a row? That's questionable. So that's super RNG. It's hard to say. I want to say Guardy, but they haven't felt as bad as you would think with that resistance.
I feel like there's a little bit different with the Guardy. Sometimes the players, they're actually very technical and they take a lot of their time. Sometimes they're not as technical. I feel like the one that I won against, basically, I lucked up, but they kind of did some misplays there. I fought against other Guardies where they play very, very well, and they pin me against the corner. I cannot do a whole lot, especially when they get their setup going. It's very, very hard to stop them at that point.
It is. But yeah, I would probably say the Goldango.
Goldango? Alright.
Just because they can continuously take those
and then
big
just
knocks.
depending on whether or not they get their super energy retrievals at that point, or anything else that will help them just generate all that energy into their hand. Last one here is basically for your Cynthia's Garchomp. It sounds like you already kind of have a plan going forward. Is this a deck that you're looking still forward to keep on playing going forward?
100%.
Alright.
100%. I love Cynthia. Garchomp is a sick Pokemon. And it's looking good going forward. We'll see what the sets bring for the other decks, whether or not it's still going to be relevant. Who knows? But I think it's looking good going forward.
Awesome. I'm glad to hear that. Sometimes I hear when people play with certain decks, I don't like it because I've had these losses or something like that, and they never really think about sticking with it and then keep on trying it. Maybe there's a couple of bad matchups. Maybe it's just because of the deck itself, because the biggest thing I talked about was range, and we can't control that. Sorry, I apologize. One more. Ionos.
Ionos.
So we did 3 of them total, if I'm not mistaken here.
Yep.
I did 1 and you did 2. Of those Ionos, did they help you out at all?
The first one definitely did not. The one that you did kind of hurt, because I think I had like 3 supporters in hand plus energy. And then the other one that I had was just trying to dig and it just could not find anything again. So kind of another brick.
Okay. Yeah, of the 3 Ionos, they all had helped me out essentially.
Yeah.
Because the first time around, I had nothing in my hand. You Iono'd me. It brought me into a better hand. Later on, I got my Iono, so I kind of used up what I could do. Use that Iono, refill my hand up, and then when you had Iono'd me again in a later match, I basically got to replenish on newer cards that I need. I'm like, oh, perfect. This worked out. It's helped me out. But yeah, that was pretty much right. It was awesome playing against
Yeah, it was
you.
great to meet you.
Charge up. Yeah. Congrats
Great
again.
games.
Thank you very much.
Yeah,
and
of course.
good luck in the future games as well.
Yeah, good luck to you too.
Thank you.